Have you ever wanted to hear from a online business owner how they use YouTube to generate more sales for their business? If so, you're going to love this conversation that I had with Melissa Dillon, the insurance exam queen. She actually talks about her journey on YouTube when she started in January 2022, what she did to get started, and how she's scaled her business to six figures with YouTube videos alone. This is an amazing conversation. She talks about the entire journey and she shares behind the scenes analytics by pulling up the dashboard and looking at her numbers. We talk through that so that you can see what's actually happening behind the scenes and how she's making money in her business every single day. If that sounds like a conversation you're interested in, stick with us. Let's get to it. Hey, Melissa, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. Welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited.
We are joined today with Melissa Dillon. She is the insurance exam queen, and I've invited her to share her experience on YouTube and also some of those analytics, because I know this question comes up a lot. And she has got a phenomenal channel, phenomenal content, and it's working for her. And I think that's one thing that tends to stop a lot of people, right, Melissa? Like getting started with YouTube is just the whole fear of just being on camera, but then also they see people making money and they're like, how am I going to make money? Is that something that you hear too?
Yes. Yeah. And one of the most important things that I like to stress with people is just get started and be messy and figure it out. That's exactly what I did. I didn't edit any of my videos to begin with because it paralyzed me, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna, make a video and put it up there. So, even the first few videos of mine, I did it on my phone and you could see me go up to hit the stop button. I'm like, I'm just going to put the content out. I'm not going to worry about it, because that's when you build momentum over time. So you just got to get started, get messy, just get going, and allow the momentum to build. And then over time, you can figure out these other skills along the way, and or hire people to be able to do it for you once you start making money.
That's the best part. You can hire people to help with all that other stuff.
Yes. And
go ahead.
I was able to start. So with the YouTube channel, I'll just, give people a little bit of my background. So I was working for a corporate company in 2021. And I made the decision that I wanted to be able to support. So I worked for a company teaching people how to pass the insurance exam, but I was limited to their people. And I knew there were so many people struggling across the country to be able to pass. And I was like, if I could just get on YouTube and start teaching this to the world, the United States, technically. Although I guess there are some people who tap in because there are insurance exams in other countries, but I can't speak to them. I've only taken the US ones, right? So I was like, if I could just start a YouTube channel, I know that something magic will come. And so I just started putting up videos. I made it very simple. My very first video, it's me holding a whiteboard. I put up a word. I explained the definition. I sent them good luck to pass their exam. I hit pause, or I hit stop, and then I just uploaded that video and it went from there. And initially I didn't know, exactly what I was going to do, but I started telling people, you can email me if you want tutoring. Cause I was like, I need to make money somehow. I knew, YouTube wasn't going to immediately give me money. First you have to hit your metrics in order for them to start paying you. And I knew it wasn't going to be like tons of money up front. Right. So I started offering tutoring, and I just did $33 an hour because that's roughly what I was making hourly at my job. And just through a couple of videos, I started having people reach out and I started doing tutoring, and I made $220 in my first month, in January of 2022. And for me, that was evidence that I could do this, right? So I continued to just make videos, put them out there. People would email me for tutoring. Eventually I got so many requests for tutoring, and the 33, I'm like, this is not cutting it. So I raised my prices to 55 an hour.
Nice.
Yep. And then I was getting enough requests that I was like, you know what, instead of doing one-on-one tutoring, I'm just going to start teaching classes. So I would, make a video about, hey, I'm going to teach these classes this week. You can buy a ticket here. And then I'd have multiple people and pay me $33 for 1 hour instead of, one person at 1 hour. And I think with the first, like February, March, I made somewhere around 1,900, 1,500 from, from tutoring sales and from, class sales. And I just
Hmm.
continued to put YouTube videos out
Hmm.
there.
And just to clarify, those sales are not from the YouTube partner program. Those sales were from you sharing like a link saying, hey, if you want to work with me,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yes. So this is something people need to understand though. You can make money from YouTube immediately if
Yes.
you have an offer. So you put out a video, you talk about what it is you're doing, you can have someone pay you that day for your offer. It's all possible. So I was, the only money I was making was at that time was from tutoring or ticket sales. And I think it was actually March where I offered my first class because I was under the impression that I would be mostly working somehow with insurance companies because that's what I was familiar with at the corporate company. But I had to figure out how to work with like one-on-one people. And so I think it was by March where I actually offered my first class and I had people buy, a ticket to attend the class. And in March, I made 7,000 selling ticket sales to classes. So
Yeah.
that blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, $7,000. Or maybe it was, yeah, I don't remember the dates. I'm bad with numbers and dates and times, but there was a month where it just blew up, just totally blew up.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, can we buy the recordings of those classes? I wasn't able to attend live. Can I get the recordings? So then I started selling recordings. Eventually I put them together in a course where they could just get the course. And now I just have an evergreen course. So
Hmm.
via my YouTube videos, people come to my website, buy my longer videos. So I like to tell them that the YouTube videos are short appetizers. If you want the full lesson, you got to buy my videos on my website. And
Hmm.
we've been able to scale now to $100,000 a month in course sales. And our YouTube channel is now making 6,000 a month. So the
Oh
YouTube
my.
channel itself has now become a six-figure yearly. Well, once it hits 8,000, we'll be at about 100,000 a year. But
Yeah.
it's been an amazing ride. And one of the biggest key pieces that I've also done is started a Facebook group where I can funnel people into a community. So
Hmm.
I think it's very important that we have a sense of community, that people get to know you. I mean, these people tell me that I'm like their best friend. They listen to my videos on repeat so that they can learn the material to pass the exam. And they're like, you're in my head all day, like I'm listening to you all day long. Like I feel like you're my best friend. And I continue to cultivate that in a Facebook group.
Yeah.
So it's been an awesome journey.
That is amazing. And so you're also, if people aren't buying or securing either one-on-one or like buying your course from a link in your YouTube video, they can also have that option to go to the Facebook group where now they're part of your audience. And then you
Yeah.
can sell to them from there, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So we sell from the YouTube channel. We have a link to our website and stuff like that. And then we also will sell people in the Facebook group. And what's
Mhm.
really cool in the Facebook group is people may join and then ask other people, did you buy the packages? And they'll say, yes, it's the best investment ever. Go buy it. So then my own audience is selling for me.
That's the best form of marketing.
Yeah. And we're 100% organic growth. We've never paid for ads. I mean, I
Oh,
think
that's
one time we
amazing.
tried it out, but I didn't really do a whole lot with it. But
Yeah.
it's never been a marketing strategy of ours. Everything has been organic and word of mouth.
Okay.
And this is where it's very important to me. Like, you and I have met at an event about wealth consciousness, where we understand that we are energetic beings. And when we, are in alignment with our purpose and with our passion, and we trust that people, if we have a desire within us to speak, to share our voice, to share our wisdom, to teach people, we have to trust on the other side of that there's an audience who wants to speak to us, who wants to hear from us, who wants to pay us. So that has been my mindset throughout the entire process of building this business too. So I've made mistakes along the way. I've messed up, I fumbled, I haven't done everything. I remember at the very beginning when I was booking tutoring, I didn't have a way for people to book an appointment. And so it was
Mhm.
more or less they emailed me and then we picked the time. And because of time zone changes and the fact that I was working with people all over the country, at some point I had scheduled 3 people to meet with me at the same hour. And I'm like sitting in a Zoom session and the other 2 people message me and I'm like, like, so then I figured out I need to have a system where people can book. So I want people to understand, like, you can be so messy. Like, that is the most important message I can share with people is you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have it perfect. You don't have to have, the exact right system in place. You just can get started. Just get started. And then the momentum builds and then you get the clarity and then you get to finesse everything and clean it
Mhm.
all up. But don't let the fear of being perfect and having the perfect system and having all this in place stop you from going out there and sharing your voice. I think that's the most important, is that you go out there and you start sharing your message, you start sharing your voice, and allow, your audience to come to you. Because if you have the desire to do it, that means that there are people waiting for you to do it.
Yeah, that's a great message. I talk about this quite a few times, like in my videos, and I've talked about it too, just in like videos I posted on Facebook and stuff. But like when I first got started, that was my problem. And I still I talk about where I'm like, I still get anxiety when I'm thinking about like trying to make this perfect video, memorizing the script, but then trying to make it sound like it was natural. And it's just chaos. So I'm like,
Yeah.
just start. Don't go through the anxiety that I did, because that kept me from doing videos on a continuous basis. It took me another year before I posted another video. So it
Wow.
held me back instead of like actually progressing me forward.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, in order to be great, you have to begin as a beginner, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has to begin as a beginner to be great. In order to get to the point where you're going viral, where people are sharing your stuff, you've got to get out. You got to figure it out. You're not just going to go out the gate being absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
In order to get polished, in order to get that perfection you're looking for, you have to start somewhere. And so
Mm-hmm.
just get started, just get rolling, just get going. And over time, things will finesse and get better and get clearer. You'll speak better. When you look at some of my first videos of me talking, and teaching is fine. But like, I could talk, but like selling to an audience, that was totally new to me. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
my very first videos, I'm not really selling anything. I'm just teaching about the exam. I had to learn how to do that. I had to fumble. I had to be like, well, you go to my website. I know it costs money, but like, it's going to help you.
Yeah.
Like I didn't speak it perfectly,
Yeah.
but it just putting myself out there and doing it. I heard this story, and I wish I knew his name, but there's some guy who has a YouTube channel and he speaks about it. It's wildly successful now. But he said, my number is 168. It took me 168 videos before one of them went viral.
Mm.
Most people will quit at video one, hit two,
Yes.
10,
Yeah.
but you have to be able to keep going
Mm-hmm.
in order to get to that, whatever that video ends up being, that becomes the one. But you can't ever find that video if you're not making them. You
Right. And
can't ever
not
get to
going in
that.
with that intention either to go viral, because that's an unrealistic expectation.
And I didn't have to go viral to make money. I made 7,000 in 1 month. I think I only had like, I started in Jan. I mean, we could look, if I look
Yeah.
at
If
my
you don't mind
numbers.
pulling up your numbers, that would be great.
Yes, so I can share my screen now with my YouTube analytics. But like
Yeah.
I said, I was making 1,500, like 220 the first month, and I got started halfway through the month of January.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1,500, 1,900 from ticket sales course, live classes. But then and then 7,000 from selling live tickets plus my recordings. And at that
Mm-hmm.
point, if we were to go back all the way, like I know I can choose a date and a time, but I think my first, let me see if I can do this, to January, let's see, March, January, February, March, April, May. I think May was my 7,000 month. So let's do May 01, May 01, 22 to May 05. Was it 30 days in May? I don't know.
31. Yeah.
Something like that.
That's
31.
okay.
All right, so let's apply that. At that time, and that was 7,000 I made in 1 month. I don't see the exact numbers. I got 400 subscribers in that month. It was very small, the amount
Mm-hmm.
of subscribers that I had. Like, so maybe a couple thousand at that point.
And you
Um,
can also see at the bottom, like where you actually published videos. So you weren't publishing videos like every single day,
no, because I
once a
was
week.
busy tutoring.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's important to note too, because there's a misconception that being on YouTube, you either have to post every day because people are so used to LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but that's not the case with YouTube.
No, in fact, there was a time where I got so busy that I didn't post. It was almost like 3 months where I posted no new videos because I
Because
was
you were
so
so
busy trying
busy.
to figure out running my business.
Yeah. And was that
And
all because of the videos you had already published and you were still getting like almost like business from those that were already out
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
just the few videos I had out there was enough to bring people into my inbox wanting to pay me money.
Yeah.
And I was working through getting that sorted and building my business and building my courses and building, the system to teach the classes and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I didn't. So what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4 videos posted that month that I made $7,000.
Yeah. And not even until like, probably that third week of May. So the first, 2 to 3 weeks, you hadn't posted a video at all.
Yeah,
That means
that's
they were
been a
working
while.
for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even
And you
realize
started
that.
your channel in 2022, right?
I did, yeah. 2022, January of 2022 was when I started. And I think I had put out a bunch of videos at the beginning, little quick tutorial videos, a lot of
Hmm.
definition videos for
Hmm.
for the exam.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good place for people to start then too. Whatever their niche is, if they want to just get started, pull out your phone. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about anything. Just do one thing. And it can be a YouTube shorts or it could be like a long form video, but just talk about like one thing.
Yeah. And it's again, it's beginning as a beginner to be great,
Hmm.
like don't get so caught up in it has to be exactly this way, it has to be perfect. Just get started and action provides clarity. And I like
Yes.
to tell people this, like your idea of what you think you want to talk about is actually
Hmm.
probably not what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's what you think could potentially make money, and
Hmm.
we tend to focus on that instead of what our true passion actually is. So like
Yeah.
I meet like somebody, in the insurance world, like I really want to talk about helping people sell. And then we start talking about it or whatever. And it's like, well, my true passion is actually dogs and drawing.
Yeah.
Like that, like sometimes we gotta get out of our way. So
Yes.
when you start like, but whatever your idea is, so let's say you have an idea like, there was one woman I was talking with, she, trained paraprofessionals in the school system.
Hmm.
And I was like, just start talking about it. But just start talking about it. One little concept, one story, one example. Just start talking about it. And as you do it and you make videos on it and you start rolling, that's when clarity will come in about what you actually do want to talk about. And this is why I stress with people. So many people will stop and not do
Yeah.
anything because I don't know what is my name? What is my theme? What is my niche? I'm like, you have
Yeah.
a name.
Yes.
My name, Melissa Mae, that's my other YouTube channel, Melissa Mae Dillon. So, if
Yeah.
you're on Melissa Mae Dillon, I talk about how I built this business and, money concepts and all kinds of things. So if you want to hear from me more, go check out at Melissa Mae Dillon. But like you don't just start talking and just start putting it out there and just start going, and then you will get the clarity on what it is you actually want to do. But
Hmm.
just put your name out there for right now. You don't
Yeah.
have to have an exact niche. You don't have to be sold on your niche. There's
Yeah.
another YouTube person in the spiritual world, Victor Odo. When he got started, he had 5 YouTube channels, all on
Hmm.
different topics because he didn't know which one he wanted to really go with. But he took the action on making videos and putting them out there until he
Yeah.
solidified it. And the channel that became the one is Victor Odo, right? Like it's just
Hmm.
him.
Yeah.
So take your name and make a channel and don't think that you have this cutesy little thing with this cutesy little logo and this is the only way I'll be successful. That is all fear. That is all lies. You don't need
Well, and
that.
plus when you post your first video, I mean, chances of you getting like a lot of people seeing it, unless you're sharing it with a bunch of people, like you can be very strategic with who you want to see that first video. If you want to get feedback, people are actually going to give you genuine and honest feedback with how you can get better from an outside perspective in, not friends, not family, but like your ideal customers, maybe somebody that you've been working with for a while. But posting that first video, just, I mean, it's not like a million people are going to see it. So if that's part of the thing that people, it's the part of the fear that's keeping them from getting started because they're afraid that all these people are going to see it and they're going to be judged and they're going to be, hating in the comments. And none of that's true. It's just stuff that people make up in their minds.
Yeah. And comments are good. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if bad comments. I've had a handful of comments. But to me it doesn't matter. There's so many other people that I'm helping. The comment section on my page is just filled with people like, thank you. You helped me so much. This is so awesome. This is so amazing.
Yeah.
And when we focus on those few negative comments, I mean, that's not serving anybody, just move on.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
they're having a bad day. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to like what you had mentioned earlier about like how we met. And it goes back to part of like how we met was about the mindset mastery. And
Yeah.
so mindset plays a lot in showing up on camera, building confidence, sharing your knowledge and expertise, and then also how you handle the comments.
Yes. And as one thing to do, because a lot of people feel nervous about recording a video and trying to get it perfect. I will tell you, when I try to record a video,
Hmm.
I will mess up and fumble 100%.
Hmm.
When I go live, when I have people in front of me, it comes out perfect and amazing. So my technique actually with building my Melissa Mae Dillon channel is going live on Facebook and then
Hmm.
downloading that video and then just putting it up on my YouTube channel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
that's one way where you can just break the ice, because if you're live, you have to speak, you have to be speaking. You've got people listening, you've got an audience. When you're recording, you'll be like, oh, that didn't come out right. I got to stop. Now I got to do
Yeah.
it again. Oh, I said that word wrong. I got to stop. I got to do it
Yeah.
again. Like, no,
Exactly.
if you're going live, it's just a flowy, it's a natural conversation. It's just going to come out. So
Exactly.
if you're in that place of struggling with every time I try to record, I mess up and I stop, then just start going live. And you
Yeah.
can't go live on YouTube until you hit certain metrics. So just use
Mhm.
Facebook to go live. And that way you're, gaining two audiences.
Yes, exactly. That's a great point. That's a great place to start too. Even if, or if they're on LinkedIn or Instagram, any other channel, just go live there, download it, and then upload it. That's a great
Yes,
strategy.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and again, it reduces the overwhelm of, editing. When you record, it's almost like I have to edit. No, you don't. Just
You don't.
download the live video and put it up there. And then, I say at the beginning of it, this is Melissa Mae Dillon. I'm going live on my Facebook page, and then we upload it to the YouTube channel, which is the easiest place to watch replays. Like, you'll
Mhm.
eventually get this, flow. But when you stop yourself out of fear, you're hurting you and the audience that is waiting for you. Because again, I
Exactly.
truly believe if you have the desire to have a YouTube channel, to speak, to put yourself out there, there are people waiting for you on the other side. Get out there for them.
Exactly. I don't like it to say like mean, but I'm like, you're being selfish.
Yes.
If you're not
Yes.
sharing your expertise and people need to hear what you have to say and what you have to offer, you're basically being selfish. So don't be selfish.
Yes.
Just let it out there.
Yes, and you're letting fear steal your opportunity to speak your voice, and you're letting and steal, the other people who are waiting to hear from you. There are
Yeah.
people who are waiting to hear from you, who need your exact way of talking about it and speaking about it. There are other people who teach the insurance exam on YouTube. There are other
Hmm.
channels out there. There's other teachers out there, but my audience resonates with me. They want to hear the way I have to say it. They want to hear the way that, I talk about it.
Yeah.
And you could have the exact same topic as someone else, but it's being filtered through your story, your perspective, your voice, and that matters.
Yeah. And that's a great point too, that no matter what industry or niche that you're in, there's going to be people already on YouTube that are doing the exact same thing. But what you bring to YouTube and bring to your videos is your experiences, your
Yeah,
personality, how you deliver it. And that's what's really going to attract people.
there's Starbucks next to Starbucks. They're fine.
Yeah. It's like
There's
some of these things people just need to get out of their mind and just move
ah,
forward and not worry about the things that really don't matter.
yes, and that's something I've been talking about too, is like the power of your voice. Like when you're making videos, and one thing I recommend to people is not always having a script, because
Mhm.
if you have a script, it's been filtered through your head. Your head has decided these are the things you talk about, these are the bullet points. This is why going live is so powerful to me,
Yeah.
because your voice has a knowledge and a wisdom and an experience outside of the thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
And when you allow yourself to just speak without filtering it through your mind, oh, so much amazing epic stuff can come out. But if you
Yeah.
try to filter everything through your mind, it's limited to your mind's perspective.
Yeah. The live streams are basically like having a conversation. And
Mhm.
that is something that we don't really, I mean, you think of through it kind of, to a certain extent, but it's not something that you're going to be like, stop, I need to edit that, because you can't, you're live. So you just move forward and you just work through it. I mean, you can go and look at the lives that I did in November and December of this past year. And I was saying, and I was saying, so, and I was paused, like all the things that when you're recording your videos, typically people want to remove those, but there's a certain element of authenticity and just being who you are when you show up live. And the same thing can happen if you are pre-recording your videos and you don't want to deal with like the editing part of it, because that's an extra. I think that intimidates people too.
Yeah.
because they
If
think
I
editing
felt like
like
I had to edit my videos, I would not have had the channel I have now.
it's crazy because they look at the videos that are just being like overproduced and they're using
Yes.
that as like their benchmark when it's like, no, you can use Canva to do simple edits if you don't want to see people, seeing you go like this to start and stop. I mean, just go ahead and bring it into Canva and cut the beginning and ending off and you're good to go.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
really not a big of a deal just to leave it. I'm testament of that. Like it's gonna be okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, like that's the thing about YouTube is there, I mean, there are billions of people in the world, billions,
Mhm. Yeah.
and yes, some of the channels with the perfect production and all of this may be the most viral, top shared, biggest views, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you can't be making money from your videos that, 100 people see.
Yeah.
If
Exactly.
you have if you have like let's say you've got an offer for coaching and you help people and you've got incredible results and you will go on video and you talk about it and two people see it and one person signs up and you just made, $10,000 from that offer.
Yeah.
You don't
Exactly.
need a million people to watch that video. You don't
Mhm.
need all the crazy production stuff, What is
Yeah.
your purpose and your intention with coming onto the YouTube channel? Is it to be the most biggest, best YouTube channel ever? Or is it to make a sustainable income and to help impact people's lives to be better? What's
Yeah,
your.
exactly. Yeah, and build a legacy. And I always like to tell people too in that example, if you have two people who see it, one buys, from your perspective as the business owner, the person who's running that channel, that's a missed opportunity if you wouldn't have started your channel. So would
Yeah,
that a person found you and then what impact does that person have on other people because you showed up on YouTube?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of impact that I don't think people think through all of those impacts that they can have. They get too stuck on the mindset that
Mhm.
holds them back.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
is there anything else in your analytics that you think might be important to share? Like,
Oh,
was there a certain
yeah. What
time?
do you want to see? I'm happy to. I'm not a
Uh,
big person to always go through all this, but I'm happy to share anything. Um,
Um, could you click on audience?
Audience,
Yeah,
yes.
let's just see what that shows. Because I know the numbers are really important. I think too, here is really important to see is that from the time that you started your channel and just the growth over time, that there's spikes, which are probably like when you posted videos, but then you also have like high spikes in different areas too.
Yeah.
Like, the blue, yeah,
New
right there.
users. Yeah.
Yeah. So, from a perspective of when you start building your channel, you start looking at the analytics to see what was working, what wasn't working. This is going to be a really important thing to see, who's viewing your videos and then also what videos are resonating with people. And then from there, you can say, okay, these videos are working and these aren't. And then you're going to want to focus on those videos that are working, just kind of tweak them and, change the titles, create new videos that way. And these analytics can really help with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not the best at coming to look at them because sometimes it would cause me too much, worry and doubt. The thing is
Yeah.
just putting it out there, putting it out there, putting it out there and finessing over time. Now I
Mhm.
pay someone to help me run all this stuff, like
Yeah.
someone who's an expert who can, do all this.
Yeah. Now, how important have you found it for being consistent based on like how you're getting business from YouTube? Do you like post on a regular basis now, or do you still only post like whenever you feel like it?
We do try to have consistent posting
Hmm.
on all social medias, but
Hmm.
we have so much content now that we just rehash it.
Yeah.
So we take a long video, make it short,
Hmm.
take a recording of a class, take a snippet. I don't have to
Hmm.
be constantly making new videos. There's so much videos out there that you can have a person take it and redo it for you.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of systems that we can plug in one of my classes, plug it into a service like Opus or
Hmm.
Descript, and it will
Yeah.
make little videos for you. You
Exactly.
take one long form video, you plug it into a system, it'll make multiple little videos for you.
Yeah.
And so we're able to do that a lot.
Yeah.
There was also a time period where I went live on YouTube pretty regularly to help, grow the audience. It's been an experiment. It's just been fun. Um,
Hmm.
I remain like, as long as the most important thing is not metrics, it's mindset, right? And if I've got
Yes.
the right mindset, the metrics will come in to support it. And then I use my metrics to fine tune and finesse, but again, it's more about my mindset. If I'm keeping this fun, I'm keeping this playful, I'm keeping this all about my passion, I'm keeping it about helping people.
Yeah,
Impact equals income. So if
yeah,
I focus more on the impact that I'm providing and how I'm helping people and how I'm serving people, my income just flows in.
exactly. So can we take a look at revenue? And while we're doing that, have you taken breaks from the time that you started your channel to today where you haven't posted videos? And if you have taken a break, what impact did it have?
Um, there was never a time where I did an intentional break,
Okay.
but I know there was a time period, like, I mean, I know there was a time period where I was so focused on helping getting my business system set up, getting my courses set up that I didn't really release video. I didn't follow that you must post 2 videos a week in order to grow, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
Hmm.
and so I just did it based on my life and how it was rolling and how it was going.
Hmm.
But I tried when I would go to my page, if it was like um there wasn't a video, I tried not to have any video longer than 7 days, right? So at
Okay.
least one a week. When I
Hmm.
was pregnant, when I went on maternity leave, I had made a bunch of videos and then I had scheduled them to be released once a week,
Okay.
just so that there wasn't a big lull of time.
Hmm.
But I would say from the beginning to now, there was never a time where I was like, I'm intentionally getting off YouTube and stepping away.
Okay. I think that's important too, because I think some people think, okay, if I get on YouTube, then I have to be on there forever. And it's important to be consistent, but I think if you take a week off or something because you go on vacation and have time to record, 2 videos so that you could schedule it and have it published on your normal schedule, I think you're fine. Like you're not going to get penalized for that.
No, I don't think it's once as long as you're continue like as long as there is consistency happening and stuff and people are watching, I think you're gonna be all right, you know. But again, don't let anything like trip you up. Oh, we're at 7,000 for December. That's amazing. I just saw.
Yay!
So that's the first time we crossed the 7,000 threshold. We were getting up there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
And that's
remember for the
strictly from the YouTube partner program, right?
Yes, so this is
That's
this is YouTube directly. So we also have course sales
right.
where we're making money every day, even on
Hmm.
Christmas Day. I now because of YouTube, I want you to understand the power of this. Because of YouTube, I have a business that makes money every single day. There is not
I
a
love
day
that.
yeah, there's not a day that has gone by. I think once I started courses
Hmm.
where I had, and even I think recordings, I don't know the day it started, but I can't go back. I can't go back and remember a day I didn't make money since launching my business. You know what I
I love
mean?
that.
Like once I started selling courses on my own.
Yeah.
And of course the YouTube makes money for me all the time in my sleep. It's
Yeah.
it's making money.
Yes.
And this, you can get to a point where YouTube is making all the money you need to sustain yourself. Yes, you have to put in the time, the effort, you got to grow it. Got to put it out there, but eventually, it could be making enough money that you hire someone to rehash your videos, make new videos. You've
Hmm.
got a website with other offers if you wanted to make even more, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's super cool. We get to celebrate 7,000 on this phone call.
Heck yeah. I love that. That's amazing. And you can see too in January, you're already on pace. Like you're pretty much at
Yeah.
like 1600 and we're only
Yeah,
8 days
8 days
in.
in
So
at 1600, 8 days in. That's really awesome.
yeah, I love that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That's
And it,
exciting. Do
yeah,
you have
you can
any
see like
final? Oh, go ahead.
it really spiked when I first got started and I thought that was going to be how it went. And then it did drop. But like it does obviously it continues to grow. So it's just gone up and up and up from here.
And what
Um,
you're showing are like daily numbers, right? So right there, January 1st was 164. Yeah. So
Yeah, so
those are
this is how
daily
much money
numbers.
I made each day. And like
Yeah.
right around the holidays, see, like that was Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
it,
Yeah.
it dips every holiday, it'll dip.
Yeah.
Um, the day, Christmas Day. But even still, I'm making money every single day of the year from the YouTube channel.
I love that. It's such a great example of what's possible on YouTube and to see
Ah,
it, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's what we want everybody to do. We want everybody to have this. YouTube wants everybody to have this because when
Yes.
you're making money, they're making money.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
win-win. That's what's completely
Yes.
different about YouTube compared to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I know that Instagram and TikTok have, paid programs, but it's not the same as YouTube. And so it's a completely unique animal when it comes to like running your business and the value that's there. You sharing your knowledge and expertise. And then, as long as you're consistent, you build it up, people are watching your videos, then you get paid back in return.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
all
love
you
that.
just gotta keep putting out content, keep putting out content. If you're constantly putting out content, YouTube will help you have it be seen. I
Yeah.
know there's an analytics somewhere, somebody showed it to me once that showed like how YouTube was actually pushing me out. Something I think it's called this
Yeah.
34% from YouTube recommending your content.
Hmm.
So as
Yeah.
long as you're making content, YouTube will start pushing you out,
Yeah.
getting you out
You
there.
have to make it though.
Got to make it. Yeah, they can't put it out there if you're not making it.
You got to make it first.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
What would be like 2 or 3 tips that you would give somebody who's been thinking about it? They've been holding themselves back and they just haven't been able to press go. Like, what would be something you'd just like to help them get over that hump so they can just be like, I got to do this?
Get your Nikes on, just do it. Just
There are
do
no
it.
2 or 3. It's just do it.
Just do it. Yes. Like, how long are you going to let fear steal what it is you want to be doing? How long are you going to let fear steal, the wisdom and the experience that you have? Again, if you have a desire to speak, there's an audience waiting for you, and they're
Yeah.
waiting to hear your message. They're waiting to hear what it is you have to say. And if you're sitting there like, well, I didn't edit the video and I say, and blah, 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 like you're holding back from them what it is they're needing to hear from you. And so, one of the things I like to say is my story is my light and I'm here to shine. And if you're not shining, no one can see it,
Yeah.
and so it's just get out there, just start doing it, get out of your own way.
Hmm.
We're stopped not by other people, but by our own thoughts in our head. And how long you're going to let them run your life?
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your statistics and even being here with me today. Are there any final words that you want to share before I ask you where people can find you?
Just I think the same thing, like just do it, just do it,
Yeah.
just do it, just do it. If it's on your heart, if it's on your mind, just get started. Like, it gets to be messy, it gets to be not perfect, it gets to be all these things, but it can't be anything unless you do it.
Yeah. And that's the wonderful part about it is being messy and just doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
messy makes me millions.
I love it. Where can people connect with you?
So if you're not studying for the insurance exam, then at Melissa Mae Dillon YouTube channel is a better place to go. And then I'm very heavily on Facebook. I like to say I'm a geriatric millennial. So Facebook is where I hang out. I know there's Instagram and all the things, but Facebook is where I'm predominantly hang out. And then I'll go live on Facebook and then I'll upload it to my YouTube channel. And then of course I have some really cool YouTube stuff. I've made a lot of meditations that I think are not meditations, but actually awakenings. So if there's, I released one and I just listened to it. And of course, I have a big enough business that I have a cool audio guy who like added music to it and made it really cool. I just listened to it for the first time myself with the music.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it was so moving. I was crying. It was the most
Oh,
magical experience of my life. And my sister had inadvertently heard it too. She went to some woman's circle and the woman who was leading it said, hey, I've been following this woman online and I want to play a meditation from her. She starts playing it. My sister goes, what? That's my sister. She had no idea. So, and she said she cried the entire time, and it's called Jumping to My Highest Timeline. And it's all about actually moving beyond the fear, like whatever circumstance or situation in right now,
mhm.
it's about jumping to the place where everything is solved and resolved and harnessing that feeling so that you can move through any difficulties that you're experiencing right now. And it,
Mhm.
it was very, very moving and magical. So I also have a money meditation on there where people have listened to it and have just gotten money out of the most randomest places. So lots of super cool stuff on the Melissa Mae
Yeah.
Dillon YouTube channel.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I hope people connect with you because you're just an amazing human in general. And I'm so glad that we connected and that we were able to have this conversation and we'll continue to have more conversations.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vicki. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.